Hello there. This is Green Sage. I'm doing my first official content, although it's still in an experimental phase. Still trying to figure out exactly what I'm going to do, but let's just get started. I was urged on by my friend Twilight, who subscribed to me. Thank you. Oh, there we go. There's the light. I was like, what happened to the white light ahead? It was the page from the PDF. I'm going to read a Zen text. At some point, I'll be doing an introductory video for anyone that doesn't know who I am, saying who is Green Sage, why are we doing Green Sage content, what is the point, but I haven't quite figured that out yet. So it'll have something to do with Zen and Buddhism and spirituality and living in reality, in my opinions, and there's been some demand for content about that, so we're gonna give it a shot. Today, to get started, what I'm going to do is read from the record of LinJi. It's a very rainy, drizzly day out here. Let's see if I can dare to move the camera. I don't know how much of the rain sound or rain visuals is coming through, but it's a very drizzly day. I'm going to read about some drizzle, and I think we're just going to keep it short and sweet. So, here we go. This is LinJi's from the record of LinJi, the LinJi Yulu. Let's see if I can try to hold it in a way where it looks like I'm looking at the camera, but everywhere there are those who say that there is a path that can be cultivated and a truth that can be realized. You tell me what path, what truth, what is lacking in your present function? Where will you cultivate and repair it? The younger generation of would-be Zen people do not understand this, so they believe in these wild fox spirits. He's talking about people before, but or we can say he's talking about the people that say you can cultivate truth and that it can be realized. When they explain things, they tie people down. They say that enlightenment can be attained only when truth and conduct are in accord, and you guard yourself from misdeeds of thought, speech, and action. This kind of talk is like springtime drizzle. A man of old, who, according to Cleary's notes here, was Sikong Benjing, a disciple of the Sixth Patriarch. According to this old man, when on the road you meet a person who has consummated the path, above all, do not face toward the path. Thus is it said that a person cultivates the path, but does not travel the path. Then myriad kinds of false scenes and distorted perspectives soon arise all around. When the sword of wisdom comes out, there's not a single thing. The bright side doesn't show, but the dark side is illuminated. Therefore the agent said, ordinary mind is the path. Worthy people, what are you looking for? The independent person of the path who is here before your eyes right now, listening to the Dharma, is clearly obvious. It has never been lacking. If you want to be no different from the Buddhas and patriarchs, just see like this. Don't plunge into doubts and errors. If you go from mind moment to mind moment without deviating, you are called a Buddha. If your mind deviates, then reality, nature, and form separate. If your mind does not deviate, then reality, nature, and form are no different. So the connection to springtime drizzle is pretty superficial. At the same time, it can also be wound into a more central point. He's saying that the idea that you can cultivate a apotheosis, a enlightenment, some sort of transcendental, ascendant state. You can reach something through, this is the standard idea. There's a certain practice, a certain understanding that you need to practice that practice a certain way or to a certain level of sufficiency, or there's a realization that you need to understand in a certain way. And then when that happens, some thing is going to happen, some miracle. So he says everywhere there's this idea. And in fact, if you look around, most people are trying to teach you that idea. At some point later in these videos, I think we'll get into the role of those ideas. They're not, LinJi is denigrating them here, but it's not that they have no use or that anyone that is stuck in that place is somehow inferior. But for those that do want to learn the superior path, then this is what he's talking about. If you just want to go along with the springtime drizzle, meaning that there's so much of it, and it's been raining all day, it's just kind of been drizzly and wet, and it's just this never-ending, it's not even like a downpour, it's just this never-ending wetness. There's so much. Talk about the moisture and the raindrops. It's been all day of just gray, drippy, and that's what he's saying. There's so many of these teachings that you can find everywhere. And so he says, you know, if these things were true, who is this person that you would cultivate? What is it that you're going to be achieving, right? They talk about the ordinary mind, and he quotes this older guy who says, you know, when on the road you meet a person who has consummated the path, above all, do not face toward the path. The path of ordinary mind is not facing the path. So in some sense, you need to study the path, figure out what it is, and get some sense of it yourself. But then when you're actually walking the path, this particular path, the Zen path, is a practice of no practice. So when you're doing the practice, you're not doing any practice. In essence, you know, what are you doing? You're now, if there's a nihilistic point of view, it would be you're doing nothing. You're zeroing out, but that's not true. It's nothing in particular, but then that's everything. It's being yourself is really what it is. And in fact, I do have there's a sword here, which this was sort of part of the synchronicity when I decided to maybe do this text. I said my friend Twilight inspired me. It was a rainy day. I was thinking, what topic could I do? I thought of the Drizzle, and I thought of this. And then when I started reading it, there was this sword analogy, and I was sharpening and fixing up my sword today. Maybe some other video. I mean, I think there's videos already on my channel of me messing around with that. But the sword of wisdom, right, is just going to slice through ignorance. But the interesting thing he says is the bright side doesn't show, the dark side is illuminated. This is how, you know, don't face towards the path. Don't try to walk the path. You're gonna go further away from it. When you bring out the sword of wisdom, you have to cut through ignorance, but it's not a positive thing. In sort of a positive sense, a positive thing in a logical sense. It is not a particular form. You know, like, if you're doing this, then you're doing, you know, it's to some people, if you're a certain kind of relaxed, that's the path. It's a certain mind state, you know, a certain mind state. You know, some people will disqualify other people, saying that person can't be on the path because they're doing this, or that's wrong because of this. Not facing towards the path is the path. The sword of wisdom, its dark side, the side of not knowing, is the side that's illuminated. Whereas the bright side, the knowing, is not illuminated. So you know what you need to do, which is not look at the path. You know that it's a path of no path, but that side gets darkened. The not knowing side, hey, I'm just chilling here, drinking some water. Whatever, to give a random example. That side is illuminated. That is, looks like it's just my white beard as I get older, but looks like there's something on it, but that is the point being made here. And in fact, according to LinJi, says, the independent person of the path who is here before your eyes right now, listening to the Dharma, is clearly obvious. So this is obvious to LinJi. It's never been lacking. And this is the point of Zen. It's very hard for some people to accept that they are what they've been looking for, that the point of Zen is just this person that they are, especially with this idea that they need to dissolve the ego, and the ego is wrong. At the same time, people have false beliefs about who they are and what's going on, and so it's not as simple as that, but this is about the main point, right? If your mind deviates and reality, nature, and form separate, you start thinking about things, saying, how do I align with the path? There's all of a sudden this path to be aligned with, and by you trying to align with it, logically you are not aligned with it. If your mind does not deviate, then reality, nature, and form are no different. Again, just be yourself. There's a million things we could say about it, but for an initial video, that's the main point. I wanted to go through it. It was a fun journey, but just be yourself and don't think about it too much. Study some Zen while you're here. Peace, love, and wubs. Keep doing your best. You can't do better than your best. I love you.